What is to come? Let's have that talk. It's go time. This is a critical point. I'm going to have a very serious talk with you, and I hope that it opens up the gateways to something really amazing. You ready to go there? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. It doesn't seem like it sometimes, does it? It's like, how is that possible when we're on a planet where there's so much stuff going on there that's so disturbing? And it is, it's part of the journey, it's part of the whole experience. We cannot escape that. I want to talk about all of that because it doesn't seem possible that we could exist on the same planet in different frequencies, thus different dimensions, different existences, and have so much density and struggle and strife and pain going on. It doesn't seem possible, and it seems wrong sometimes for us to live in an amazing life when all of that's going on, but I'm going to tell you why it's so important for you to do that. Are you ready for that? Get your coffee, your tea, your water. I use almond milk and I froth it. It's amazing. I've been making a lot of decisions myself. What's going on the planet? This is it. We have come here to reconnect as humans with our power, to experience being human in density. What is that like? And to pull out of it. It's go time. The planet, she is coming out of it all. She's raising her frequency, which means if you are in the room with somebody that has a different frequency as you, it's a mismatch. It doesn't feel very good, right? And if you have a higher frequency, meaning that you're happy, you're not judging, you're not going into this negativity, you're in that higher, beautiful space, you don't want to be around that. And so in the past, we've been told, oh, we'll just fix somebody. But that's still ego programming to say, yes, you should control somebody else, and they should be happy, and they should be awakened. We're learning that even that is the ego at work, wanting everything out here to be a certain way. I know, it doesn't seem like it, right? Because it's like, no, I only want the best for somebody else. They'll decide what's best for them. We are all on individual journeys. Never lose sight of that. What's happening right now? The split is happening. It's been happening. And more people are deciding to go into that higher frequency. That's what you're seeing throughout the years that's been going on. More and more people are awakened. It has caused a shift. In other words, a tipping point, which I got to download, right? I'm not channeled, but we're all channeling. This is why I wanted you to be aware of the whole channeling thing. Do not look to others for answers. Know it for yourself, because that answer may not be right for you, the individual journey as Bob or Mary or whoever you are. We all have our own little scenarios we're supposed to play out. And yours is not right for somebody else. We have to get away from that ego that's trying to control this out there. So when this tries to control that, chaos ensues. Well, there's no such thing really as chaos. Exactly what's supposed to happen, happens. And it's more lessons. It's more stuff that comes to you to say, you know, what's going wrong? You know, oh, guess what? You didn't master the fact that you're supposed to just let it go and let God. It's really tough for us to do that, isn't it? Because there's no trust, there's no faith. So many of you have written this, that even the Bible says, ye of little faith, you hold the power, ye are all gods. It's over and over, it's saying you alone absolutely hold that power, because you came here for that journey, for that individual learning that's going to be different than mine. You know, maybe you came up in an abusive family and that you're supposed to learn forgiveness, and maybe I mastered that. And there are other things that I must do. I mean, I'm a teacher this time, right? I'm focused on helping other people. And then can you get rid of all these limiting thoughts that anything's lacking or limitations of any kind? Can you get rid of placing rules on somebody wrote me, I this was really funny, and said something about it's evil to be in the financial world and you this, and I said, well, I gave that up that's why I got out of it 6 years ago. And then he's like, oh, oops. She really doesn't do that anymore. Okay, well, you're doing this. And I'm like, okay, so you can find fault in anything and anybody you want. And I said to him, why are you in the financial industry? Well, I'll tell you how I got out. And so he's like, no, I'm not. And I thought, see, we want to control each other and we want to judge and say, what you're doing is wrong. And that's coming from an angry, low density place. There's no love in that. There's wanting to point fingers, and there's anger in that. Now, by the way, and you guys have noticed this, when somebody picks on you, why do they pick on you? Because you're a target because of their specific issue, right? If you're a beautiful girl, you might have some, the mean girls will pick on you because they're jealous. That's an ego thing. So don't get hung up on what other people are saying to you or doing, because it's their own issue that's spewing that garbage out. And that is just this constant chaos ensuing on our planet, where we are always at odds, even through all of these racial freeing protests that is supposed to bring us together, and you'll find people that are finding arguments within it. This has to stop. We're not recognizing 100% that we're still in density behaving that way. Can you release all of it when you take your power back? It never left you. And as a human being, realize how powerful you are. It will blow your mind. I can't even say stuff. In fact, my internet marketing, you guys, I know some of you are the students coming over, creating businesses online, learning all this stuff. Amazing community and outstanding training on how to create an online business. I supply tools for people to change their lives in every area. We can't be spiritual at home and then go into jobs that destroy the planet and ourselves. I was getting heart palpitations as an investment banker. You could tell yourself I have to pay my bills. That's an excuse. You look at all the amazing prophets out there that have done stuff that's been very uncomfortable to get to that next place, because that ultimately supersedes anything in this material world. But here's the funny part about that. When you pursue the higher frequency, all of a sudden abundance and all these other things flow. All right? So I was joking around with my students the other day. We do live webinars every week. And I said, guys, we're doing amazing because we work online. And I said, everything's great until something goes out. And one of the students, who's one of my spiritual students, went, don't say that. I said, okay, I won't say it. I won't even make a joke about it. Do you know the next day my website went down? You do, and so it's like, that's sort of a coincidence. No, it's not. It's not a coincidence. You're really doing that, even with one statement, right? So be careful with that. But here's what happens when you tap into that power consciously. You start to manifest like that, because there's nothing between you and that which you're, shifting into. So it's a probability that exists. The reason why we don't shift into the probabilities we desire is because we have all of these stories and blocks and all this crap going on. It's go time, people. You wield the power, and when you let go of everything, every possible limitation, like I see you still arguing on my channel. It's getting better, but I'm still arguing oh yes, I believe in everything, but, and then going off into some other thing. Why is that necessary? It's not necessary to pick on somebody else. It's not necessary to go in, why do you have to do that? You don't. It takes you down, not the other person. They're just going to want nothing to do with you. What happens when somebody sends me a nasty email? I shut it down. And by the way, if they're on YouTube, they get reported. That's an automatic thing now. I don't have to do that. So if you guys wondering why some of your comments don't show up, they're flagging. Why? That's a good thing. They're saying no to the garbage, the destructive garbage that could put fear in people that's unnecessary, because that's how the butterfly effect happens, and that has been going on for a long time. And now we have people, you can say that's control. I don't think it's bad control when certain keywords and certain things are flagged because they just don't have a place. All they're doing is creating fear and chaos with vulnerable people. I'm okay with that. So I want to ask you, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you arguing about? And none of it matters. So when you're a light being, you're going to look down and go, I'm not even there anymore. So did it matter who's president? Did anything matter, really? Other than how I conducted myself toward others, no matter what they do. That's your test. That's it. So you say, but they're the bad ones. No, how are you acting to the bad ones? How are you thinking of them? Because they are not separate from you. I want you to imagine this. We're going to do this a lot. I want you to imagine every single person now. Boom. The switch was just flipped. And we're over here. We're done. And now everybody starts to rise, and they're all light beings. You don't know who's who anymore. All just lights, all going off under the planet. Light beams, every single person going back into this beautiful light. That's it. Now what? What are you going to talk about now? There isn't anything anymore. There's just perfection. And that's what it is. So when you get into the minutia and all the garbage here, you are staying down in the density. We are supposed to be reconnecting to our power and recognizing. And this is why channels and astrologists, all these things, use them wisely. I'm not saying that, there's a lot of scams out there. There really are. Use them wisely. If you guys are on my email list, you saw that I sent you to my astrologist. Why? She never predicts stuff. She tells me what's going to be available in certain times. And she tells me, that, all your work will pay off in this, next year. Or, it's always very positive. She's just telling me that there will be energetic things going on. And that's all she's showing me. But I have control within that. So when anybody tells you something different about how things are, shut it down. Because you're always in control. Because you and I can live in a different planet completely on the same soil. Why? Because I'm shifting into another space. And if somebody tells me, oh, this is going to happen, and I believe it, I'll stay in that reality. I'll stay there. You wield the power. It's time to claim it in the most positive way. Not I'm going to stop the cabal. I don't even know. What the hell? What's that word? I'm going to stop them. They're evil. They're trying to do this, that. No, the density absolutely loves to suck everybody down because it loves attention. But don't blame it. It's a facet of us. It's a total facet of us. Otherwise, you wouldn't watch it, would you? Are you watching it? Yeah, a lot of you are still watching it. But this is going on. But this is, I didn't know we had a dust storm coming from Africa, coming over here. And somebody said something to me. I said, what are you talking about? And they said, there's like a major dust storm coming over Atlanta. Now, here's the interesting part. I don't watch the news. The day it was coming through, my eyes felt a little grainy. I mean, it's not on anything. There's no dust or sand on anything, but it's definitely something's in the air. And I felt it, but I didn't have that information in advance. So, obviously it was coming from a place where it was pure for me. So when you're told something or you get into that garbage, you are planting certain things and actually shifting your reality every time. Now, you guys, when I did my video, when I did the arguing, and then I did the peaceful piece where we went into this amazing music and the meditational scene. Did you feel that difference? You went from this chaotic, feeling to serene. People have told me when they watched that video that they cried when they went into the meditation scene. They were like, they realized how much they're affecting themselves just by what they're choosing to expose themselves to. This is go time. You cannot put this off. I'm talking about every decision. I'm talking about, and by the way, you know what? If you're a meat eater and this is not something you feel you really must do, and you're considering, go watch the Humane Society videos of what actually happens to animals in farm factories. How majority of the U.S. food, the United States of America is allowing, and they're phasing that out, by the way, but it's still going on. And the more you pull back from that, the more they will stop doing this. And I'm going to tell you what, the U.S. is actually, I just read that the vegetarian markets are going crazy. Did you know, because more people are going vegetarian and they're shutting those down because they're not making money off of it. This is how we make a better planet, right? One that's on a higher frequency. I just read that puppy mills here, I don't know if you know what that is, they treat these poor little animals as like breeding machines, horrible conditions. It's illegal, and they're shutting it down. We are shutting it down so much here in the United States that they said that puppy mills are going out of business because they're not, those big pet places are not allowed to purchase from puppy mills anymore. So you may think you're doing this good thing buying this puppy, and you don't know it came from the most torturous thing. So if we purchase it, we fuel those negative, dark spaces. I'm sorry, but these are the decisions we have to make. That one decision is you and millions of people making one decision that shuts it down, and it's getting shut down. Oh, guess I'm going to have to be legal and start treating animals decent. Or hopefully those people don't touch animals at all. This is how it works, my friend. And it's huge, it's massive. One plastic cup that you stop using and you go into ceramic is one of 1 million floating out in the ocean that won't be yours. I'm sorry, but it has to happen. I just last night, I have, once in a great while, I'll have a piece of fish. And last night, I pulled out the last piece of fresh caught salmon. I never use farm factored of anything, right? I had my last piece because I saw just a fraction of that video about how those animals, even fish, are treated, and I just can't do it anymore. Even the wild caught, it's the torture that they go through. They're living beings. I want you to look at, this is going to sound a little cray-cray to you. I want you to look at a little ant or an insect, and I want you to imagine that it's a totally intelligent being just like you, and watch it, and look at how beautiful it is. Look at how beautiful it is. I saw this tiny little white thing with wings the other day, and I looked and I thought, this is 100% of God, made perfectly. It's a life, and it's intelligent. This is not like some dumb thing that floats around that you can smack and get rid of. And I looked at it and I thought, when we can make a decision that's higher, we must. All right? You know, when you're using chemicals, all those things, make higher decisions. There are better choices. And you do hold that power. And collectively, we change the world, and it's happening right now. I promise you, it's happening right now. But not if you continue the same life you're living. You cannot solve the problem with the same mind that created it. Stop arguing with one another. It's happening right now. And I'm going to tell you what, your manifesting capabilities are so powerful that if you have a thought, it's creating. Because the veils are down. What does that mean? There, more and more people, the more conscious and into awakening we go, the more we have access to that higher power, and the frequency of the planet. Raising that frequency gets us closer to those thoughts, right? Those that creating. So the density is not as heavy as it used to be on the planet. So we are closer to manifesting with a thought. But if you're not on a higher frequency, you can manifest some really nasty stuff. Give up those thoughts, my friend. I have a class coming up in July, a live one, but you can sign up for it whether you get the live class or not. You will have the 3-hour workshop, Conscious Manifesting. It's a workshop. It's the first of a kind, a series I'm going to do. I wanted to tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to catch what you personally are doing that may be a pattern or a thought or a belief, where it's coming from, recognize it. So then you become an observer. We learn how to observe. Then the next thing is, now how do I manifest the things that I desire? And how do we do it on a high frequency? Because I want to go into the new earth. Now this is really focusing on the manifesting capabilities and using them. And you know I have shifted to a newer 3-hour course that, or master class you can take. That's all in there. Those two go together. New earth is manifesting on a high frequency. Conscious manifesting is just helping you to start controlling that manifesting. Let's start there. Let's start with, if you're like having a tough time with the higher thoughts, let's just figure out what you're manifesting, how you're doing it, and how you can control that. It has to be conscious, because every moment counts. Every single moment counts. So if you consciously manifest, that means what you're doing in every split second, you can now guide your reality into wherever you want. And start to understand why you're not hitting it, getting there, limitations, let's address those. And I give you, it's a workshop, so we actually work together. You get a notebook or whatever you want to do. If you don't catch the live class, you get the replay, and it's actually, all these steps are going to be put in there on the website. You could go in there unlimited for a year and go in and practice them and write down. We actually choose manifesting goals, and then we say, okay, let's work through all of this, and how do we do this every day to create that? I'm helping you to break through these limitations, and that means you have to catch yourself. And the toughest thing is, finding out that all these thoughts and this behavior is part of the ego issue that's keeping you from going into the fifth dimensional new earth. Because it's happening right now. People are living in it. They're seeing things differently. By the way, so birds been crazy. Tweet, tweet, right? Remember I was on here? You could like, the birds, Nothing. Now I know the dust storm's coming through here, but we're getting back into our cars here. We actually, nature is so sensitive. Can we please go into that new earth together? You can do it now, because if you don't do it now, you will continue on after you leave your body to learn more lessons. But you can do it now. This is the master class. This is your opportunity. And this is going to be the most challenging thing for many of you, is to recognize that all of the stuff you're spewing, all the garbage, all the but, and then picking on somebody. It just blows my mind that somebody would come on my channel and say something nasty toward me, and I think my heart goes out to them. It doesn't bother me. My heart goes out to them. And then if I do answer their question, they say I'm defending myself, and I'm thinking, you're just picking a fight, and I won't get involved in it. I remember Eckhart Tolle many years ago when he finally, his staff told him that he had to go on and look at the comments in the chat room. He said you could tell he was disturbed. He said, I was shocked that people were arguing with one another about what I said and what the meaning was. They were arguing. I could tell it was very disturbing for him. An enlightened person, very disturbing for him. And he said that, people were picking on him because he has a glass of wine once in a while and he drinks coffee every morning. What is this? We have to look so deep in. It's go time, my friend. Everything you do right now is shifting into the new earth or remaining in density. And if you feel like this earth is going down, that's where you will remain, because you alone get to create your reality, not mine. How many videos have I posted? How do we do this? How do we do it? That's the toughest part, right? Go down, it's landriaonkka.com is my courses. Down here in the description of this video, you have to scroll down, is the link to not only the course, but you get a discount code of the workshop, Conscious Manifesting. This thing, it goes on forever. It's like, it doesn't matter if you catch the live class or not. You can sign up, take the 3-hour workshop, and get all of the training in there, unlimited for a year. No excuses. I'm here to give you tools. There is no lack. There is no limitation. Only that which you create. And so that's what's happening right now. This is it. You are here to recognize that you're in control 100% of everything that happens in your life, not mine. And that you get to choose within all of these probabilities how that life is going to play out. And it's happening now. And your body is going to, dissolve at some point. Use this time wisely. Be kind to one another. Stop the criticism and catch yourself. If you go into that space, ask yourself why you're criticizing that person. You don't have to approve. Why am I doing this? Why must I say something and argue with somebody? Why? If something's right for you, that's fine. But do your homework, people. Are my actions doing anything that would harm another person, harm an animal, harm the environment? And start shifting. It's not going to be easy. This is going to be a gradual process. It's going to take time, right? But it starts now. It starts now. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Please subscribe. Share these anywhere you want. You can post them anywhere you like. This is my free workshop for those of you who want to start making changes in your life about how you earn money, get new skills, be in an amazing environment with people who are looking to do something different in their lives. Get away from those jobs that are destructive. Down in the description, of course, you can access my spiritual trainings. These are 2 different websites here. I'm going to keep doing this till I take my last breath. I love you. You're unconditionally loved, my friend. Namaste.